Hello everybody, my name is Prince Boss, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we finally got ourselves declared innocent by the one and only Herlock Sholmes in the murder of our best friend Kazuma. This time, we'll be going on to the third case, the adventure of the runaway room. I have no idea what lays ahead. So, yeah, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident,
I believe that perhaps that case was indeed
the prelude, the beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Oh. Very interesting. The 18th of February, 9:21 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Wow, okay, what an intro. I enjoyed that. That was fun. Really nice people. Especially to foreigners. Nice. Didn't expect that. Thought they would act like dicks. What an incredible place! It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built for a few short decades since we've opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. 1 o'clock? Are we in Big Ben? What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san. It's the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice.
We had instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan.
But Kazuma can't.
No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death.
Yes.
And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done.
So we'd have to return to Japan.
If we want to remain here in Great Britain,
I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour.
yes, which means you need
Oh my god. What? Requisite? Oh yeah.
which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer.
Which is what I've been studying for.
Here in Great Britain, it's the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London.
I hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry to keep you waiting. Oh, holy crap, he looks so cool! Whoa! He kind of reminds me of someone, though, from the newer games. Or the, older games. The Phoenix Wright games. He reminds me of someone. Don't know why. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan? It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no. Don't mention it. We're never... Oh my god. I'm so excited. I can't speak. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I'm Al Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. Ugh, and I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse.
Oh, how the hell? It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you. I'm trying to speak in more of a better voice, shall I say. A more presenting voice instead of just speaking in my normal tone. Like, yes, thank you. Like I'm reading off a script. So, let's learn about London. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city.
It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh?
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. If I must say, I'm at a loss for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped gas, water, and even supplies cable for electricity. We spearheaded every revolutionary new... Oh god, I can't even speak. Alright. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor in London is astonished. Alright, bro. You didn't start the frickin'... Alright, well, you guys did start the Industrial Revolution. But you guys did not invent electricity, alright? Screw you.
Oh, yes. Astounded is the word.
Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
I think I skipped one of his lines, I'm sorry. Yes, there's much excitement about the upcoming Great Exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. Great Exhibition? Cultural and technological advancements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. Oh, so it's the World's Fair. Got it. It'll be the greatest spectacle in its kind in history. And we'll make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's gonna be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. I thought it was New York. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it's fate that these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Uh-huh. Alright, I can tell this guy's already an evil dude. Well, one, by his look, and two, well, just the way he talks about London. Or England, in that matter. Lord Chief Justice. I think you were expecting a student of law for the study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reaches him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me the news?
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I can say that is true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madam?
It's about the study tour. Miss Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Would he now? Well, Miss Naruhodo. This is it then, the moment of truth. Alright, I would like to take Kazuma's place in the, the study tour. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. I know I'm speaking in Australian, alright? I mean, I probably should have said this like a while ago when I first did his voice, but please, I know I'm doing Australian, and that's on purpose. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least that's what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man.
Miss Naruhodo!
I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say?
There's someone else here from Japan who would be described as a lawyer. It's me!
It's me! I can do it! Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer. I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, and as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused. But glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment of the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was aboard the SS Burya. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, but you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey has only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. Oh, that caught his attention. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good state as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes. That's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. Test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Hell yeah. Alright, we're in. Alright, what's the test? So, what form will the test take, exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcoming news. Today? Straight away? Oh boy. This is not going to be good. If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll pass my test. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations?
Well, I could ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. It's a murder trial. Oh boy.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment, which is death. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? In Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Oh boy. Presumably, you read that much into your short C-based introductions to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? Damn, alright, so he's playing with a man's life. There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. Oh boy. So the defendant may live or die depending on how I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Miss Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. Huh? If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? I gotta agree. What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? I have to. I'll do it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words out! 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. Huh? So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry. You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation's over. Oh. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance.
Miss Naruhodo.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato, but what could I do?
It's alright, I understand.
You do?
It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madam?
I think what Mr. Sato means is that no matter how badly I like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant wouldn't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to put a fight to their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, is that it? Wait, Miss Naruhodo. Uh-oh. Oh, is he going to give me a different job? Oh. Was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. This trial would begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. A guilty verdict. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful! But it's the truth. Why does it have to be like this?
Don't you guys, have a right to a defense? You have to have a defense lawyer? Or were the laws not passed at this time? Please don't expect an answer to every single question. The cold-hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. Oh. He's playing with me now. He's like, alright, so if he's really willing to give up that easily, let me just tell him that there's literally no one to help him. Alright. He's playing with me now. I gotcha. Playing with my emotions. I'm really his only hope. So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. Well, shit.
He's gone.
The Old Bailey. I'm guessing that's the courtroom.
If we're gonna do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
I agree. Let's go. Got no time to waste. Oh, boy. I forgot how to do a British accent, really. Oi, mate. Nope, sorry. Oi, governor. Bit rude, isn't it? Alright. Antechamber. Damn it, I went back to British.
Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly.
I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die. And I had to pay gold for the privilege.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Yes, I suppose there's that.
Anyways, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all.
Right. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for the defendants to wait in is grand.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday when I was the one about to be crushed. Twice.
Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir. Oh.
What's yous doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, aren't they?
I don't even know how to... I know it's Irish. Oh, there we go. I found me Irish accent. Sorry? Would you look at these expressionless faces? Far from the Eastars, yous. We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right. Say no more. So, how much does you need? No. We're just here because... No needs to explain, fella. I've been here better myself. So have I. No place to go. Nothing to eat. Barely a penny to your nine. And oh wow, strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. Tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Saying nothing now.
1,000 guineas?
Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout.
But 1,000 guineas it's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What? Oh boy. It's nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainier day, you see. Up in the morning to you, laddies. Jesus Christ. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Did that much rain even fall in one day? Oh, probably. Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money.
Ah! That hit me in the eye!
Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Are you the defendant? Oh? To be honest, just a little embarrassing. The trial's about to begin, you see. It's for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. Ah, so you are the defendant, and you want me to defend you. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'll be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about the thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up.
I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
No! Ulster and blazes! Do yous not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names. No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. Suppose it ain't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there's the centre of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? It's called McGilded Park. Full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, I did.
An entire park? In central London?
City of Smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its choir old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Oh, God. But now that they've gone to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Nay, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. Whoa. Okay.
Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves, while the gentleman catches his breath.
Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourselves in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft idiot? I'd given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. This chancer of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well, not at all. Not at all. Although, it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry. Did he just say Reaper? Jack the Ripper? Oh, the Grim Reaper. Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey. Lord Baron von Zykes. He's the prosecutor.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper?
When Van Zykes sends for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. Uh-oh. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand a defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Alright, now it's just gone from Irish to Australian. What?
Goodness, Lord Baron von Zykes. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor, then.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial's about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. There you showed your face here. I made it up in my mind, so I had. Sorry? I've decided I have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? Just no accident, I can assure you of that. Just fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. What the fuck is this guy? What the fuck? What the fuck? I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Sorry if you guys can see the flashing stuff in the back.
Miss Naruhodo.
The man has no one. You have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen.
Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand.
I got you. I'll be right there. Sorry, that was Sasato. Alright, so we're gonna get started, huh? Already? Alright. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm gonna manage this. Oh boy. Here we go! I already know the voice I'm gonna give to the, 10 a.m., right on the dot. Old Bailey courtroom. Oh! What the fuck? So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. Centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? So different to the Supreme Court in Japan.
It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, what? Oh, I'm nervous again.
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
I know, but I just can't help it. Oh. Here we go. Oh, hello. Ooh, you look cool.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared.
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked for if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Those eyes please me. Nipponese.
Oh boy.
They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. His quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way from the tips of my toes.
Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young, even if the fellow is a student from a little island off in the Far East. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers of yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I'd like to take that as acts of chivalry, do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded, what a fine gentleman London has in him.
Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day?
Mother, please, may we go and play Mr. McGilded part? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
That's definitely welcoming news, and he certainly has his way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Yes, my lord. If the task is to send writers to the gallows, where they belong. I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of robbery promptly. Naturally, I agree.
Huh, any criminals here will soon be wishing they'd never set eyes on me.
Just skipped her.
I feel it chill.
What the fuck? That's all he says?
Oh, don't mind me, dears. I'm just getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Ah, Miss Naruhodo. Those people are...
The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but... I'm sure it'll become clear as the trial progresses.
Yes.
Prosecutor von Zeitz.
My lord.
It's been a number of years since we've seen you in this courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity.
Sure, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware?
What's he about to say? Oh boy, he looks pretty cool though. I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today, of all days, to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Miss Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, open statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. Victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be the most indestructible.
Oh god, that's a pretty brutal stab. But the victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service of the streets of London at the time. A dagger had been thrust into the victim's abdomen, is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Let's see. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Alright, so we got the autopsy report. Report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner. It gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhage as a result of a single stab wound. So 1 stab. Got it. And the photograph. The knife in the abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partly obscured from the view by an old crooked hat. Got it. And the one further item of evidence. Prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. And these gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them? Uh-oh.
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
Uh-oh. There's a blood stain on the right glove. That's not good. Not good at all. How did I get into this? I'm back into a corner before I've even started. Welcome to Ace Attorney, Ryanosuke. Continue. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of the passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Hold up one sec. Pause! And we back. Sorry, had to fix something on my computer. Wasn't showing up right. Well, of course, I had no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded. To be sure, I rode that omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Little thing. What? Little thing? Little thing. So it is. And when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got into the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver is only the beginning. What? That's not all? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment to which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. You said there was only 2 people on the bus. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good. They're turning on me.
Order!
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were there were witnesses to the crime. I can't with his voice, dude. I'm trying my best. This is not a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Oh, that's not good.
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Oh boy. So we got 1, 2, 3. 3. Alright. Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is... well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name's first. Lady first.
Ah, ladies first. Uh-huh.
I, make hats for gents. Let's begin by confirming the facts.
3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident.
You said there was 2!
You just... Alright. Well, fine. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. What, right?
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Oh boy, here we go. Testimony time. Witness testimony. Nice. That was pretty nice. A lot different than the first case. Oh boy. Well, I thought it said we were going to be doing investigating first. I guess not. We're in court.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remembered it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other on the inside of the bus. Then out the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right in his guts.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
You saw what?
Ambiguous testimony, I must say. Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed an incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel.
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. Oh boy. You don't know what's an omnibus, do you? Oh no. Alright. The cultural differences are about to get kind of cringe right now. Oh boy. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
How quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Islands was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses?
Huh?
Tell me, my Nepalese friend, have you ever traveled in an omnibus?
No. Well, no. Well, we, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What? Do you mean the actual scene? How?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much?
Yes.
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff, bring forth the stricken omnibus.
Oh boy. Oh wow, that is how'd you get that in here? So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses, and can carry up to 8 passengers.
Huh.
4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin, the other 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of the omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, a skylight. Oh!
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats of this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I never expected a crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
So the entire bus is evidence. Oh Lord, help me. I can't believe it! The entire crime scene entered as evidence?
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as I'm here. Well, might as well, right? Let's do it. Job Masters, London head office.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
The scene of a murder. It's horrible. Alright. Oh, so there's the blood stain. Wait. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victim's, obviously.
Yes, and the scene would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. The way it's set up is also weird, because he got stabbed in the chest, but there's blood on the seat. Oh, what's this? Ah, there's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start in 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
Yeah. So that's the skylight, huh?
It's quite...
It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch for any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least. This seat has a handle, it seems. Oh! Sneaky, sneaky! This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubes, tools to repair wheels.
Hiccups again.
Blankets, horseshoeing tools.
Another hiccup. Oh. Sorry. Swallowing? Here we go.
So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it'll be very convenient for the purpose anyway.
Yeah, that's also true. Huh. What's that? Why do they have the Eiffel Tower here in London? Ah. So that's the Crystal Tower. Gotcha. Close it. This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really.
Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here.
A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? That's why unisex is a thing. Alright, let's take a look outside.
Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then.
Alright. I just see it. Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Nice reference. Let's go upstairs.
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on a bitter winter's night with the cold air rushing past them. And they have to pay money to do this?
I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late.
Maybe. Phoenix Wright Omnibus, though. Very funny. So this is the roof deck. Okay. Is that it? That seems to be it so far. Yeah. Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Really enjoy that reference. Alright. So there's nothing here. Nothing else we can examine. As of right now.
Let's just continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Ray, don't expect the Snapanese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Whew. Take a deep breath, Naruhodo. Let's go. Alright, my first cross-examination in a British court. Slap in our face, we're idiot sandwiches! Focus, Ryunosuke, focus! Alright, cross-examination time.
It was the last boss of the evening, so I had a few customers.
I remember it well. Alright, I don't think I pressed that. So we're good.
Victim Anderson man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Alright.
Hold it!
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage?
That's right. When you sit next to the top deck, the window's right there at your feet.
Alright, so there's nothing to... No one had a reaction to that.
There was a lamp on the inside, so I had pretty good view.
I'm trying to get his voice right.
Two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out the faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGill.
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put it polite? Mr. McGill is a judgment of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilden. There is no room for doubt here. Ugh, I really wish there was.
Then out the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right in his guts.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I couldn't help it.
Hold it!
Hold it!
You stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, weren't you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see. So I was just gazing absentmindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sickening, right out from his belly. That huge, great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
That didn't help me at all. Uh-oh. The jury looks like they're even more convinced my client did than they were before. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Mr. First. Yes, sir. Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. That's the very one, sir. Is that it? Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
Is that a blade? That is a blade of considerable size, counsel.
It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems awfully familiar. The gilded. Please.
No.
M, for Magnus perhaps, or McGilded probably. Take your pick. It also means Mason. It seems this particularly big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
Oh no, we made a slap. But there are M's everywhere. Like, yes! Like in Mason!
Objection!
Oh. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. This is circular logic. Ugh. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Kazuma. Alright, so now it's in. I might have to examine it. Oh. My lord! Jury number 3. What's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. But you're rich. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. Oh. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Oh. What the fuck? There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. That is precisely what I was about to say. Oh. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. Uh-oh. 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 We're losing them. Well, what is happening here? What the fuck?
Let me see. Ah, yes. It seems that's how members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we just saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Ugh. Now I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare.
As soon as I heard the scream to stop my bus, and then I looked inside myself.
Hold it!
What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, sure, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
What? And by the passenger, obviously referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And then the passenger had a knife in his hand, like this.
By the other passenger, obviously referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus, who killed him.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What? Uh-oh. Oh no. 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 Everything we're doing is proving him guilty. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Ah, jury number 2. Go on. Mr. McGildy is a pillar of society and a gentleman. And a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct.
What? Whatever that means.
However... No! Those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait, what are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish.
Uh-oh. We are not helping our cause. No.
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and crime.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-reference all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion.
Oh, this is not going well. Uh-oh.
Not again. That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may as well fly.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
But... Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Alright, so when it happened, the only two people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man trying to defend... I'm trying to defend you, the deed.
I don't like being pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be...
Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again, a little more carefully this time. Last bus of the evening. So I have 2 customers I remember as well.
Hold it!
Let's press them here. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold. It was freezing, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. No traffic. Shame parts of the bus. Of course, no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted in, for example. You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that? No, none. So nobody fled the scene of the crime, then? I have to say, the boss insists on it running, he does. Every evening, that last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, with it being so cold and everything, you only make 20 pence on a run, you see. Yes, I spend that much of the hub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. Wow, I can't speak his voice. I'm about to pass out. Jesus. Alright, I push this. Then out of the blue, the accused reached over and punched the knife.
Hold it!
Right. You actually saw the exact moment it happened. Didn't I ever testify to that? Warfare, take 'em. Hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail. That's... Oh, fucking Jesus, no. No! No! My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, jury number 5. Do I take it that you too? As the master in the London Guild of Coachmen. The idea of a murder being committed in one of the city carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It would be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though. I say to myself. No! Well, I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say. No, please. Just keep an open mind a little longer. Get up now, Silverblaze. The finish is in sight. That's not good. Oh. Beckmo's a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, to your kind, sir. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. All but Granny. All but Granny. Madam Juror number 6. Yes, dear? What can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leave? Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me.
I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench to get with me knitting. It's a lovely little park just near where I live. The Gilded Park, it's called. Oh? The gentleman donated it to the city, you know. Put a smile on Londoner's face, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to McGillen Park Public Library later, possible? How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilden really is? What kind of man he is? The philanthropist, Magnus McGilden, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all this wealth come from? Oh boy, it's all become like a Trump thing. Your client is a Shylock, sir. One with the very darkest of souls. What? Down of crows. The Gilded lends money to at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak. I've never heard any mention of that before. Your facilities have deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? Uh-oh. What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? Sorry. You're not saying that. The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. When it comes as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilden. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, that pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilden. I don't believe it. Hold it! Oh? Sato? If I may add something briefly. Mr. Sato? You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilden, but where's the evidence to support your claim? Do you not have it? Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice in a court of law. Aha! There it is! Lord Van Sykes' hollow chalice! How can this be considered acceptable? But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. As judicial assistant to the fence, I'm simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, this is not going good for us. Oh, boy.
me take a sip of my drink. Yeah, not going good for us at all. Oh yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. Alright, I'm inspecting this shit. Open the book. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we have to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps? Actually, I wonder.
I assure you, we will not find Mr. Sholm's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find. Is Mr. Sholm's name inside? Nothing. Okay.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, aren't they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness!
What is it?
Look at this! Do you see this name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Uh-huh. Why would a banker... Also, let's examine the murder weapon.
That part is the sheath, isn't it?
Take it off.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Hmm? Oh, sorry. Yes, I just don't really like blades.
Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Oh, there is blood. Is there an M? Yeah, there it is, the M. Ornate letter M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial.
And it's beautifully gilded, too. It must be very valuable, I think. Ah! What is it?
Look at this M. Oh, it could be a W. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything.
A W?
Yes, it's one of those, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
I'm afraid I don't know at all. But what I am sure of is that that's an M.
Oh. Well, the idea was quickly squashed. I was about to say, that could be a W. Blood. Ugh. That looks like a lot of blood.
It surely is blood. The victim's.
Ugh. An Englishman's blood looks a lot like Japanese man's blood.
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
Yes, I do understand.
Huh. Okay. Let's inspect these. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed?
Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Pity. If only he'd been left-handed.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
Oh, that's true. Anything else? No? Okay. Let's see. The hell is that? It's like a bunny. Autopsy report. thrice-fired mason, male, age 54, brickmaker, cause of time and death. Somebody happened with a knife while journeying in an omnibus, died to an internal hemorrhage resulting from the trauma. Alright. Interesting. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Don't vote!
Well, it was shame I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
No. Wait. Regrettably, madam, it is the modus operandi of the accused.
And he's such a pretty little paw, too. What a scoundrel!
No. No! Uh-oh.
Still, may it's all for the best.
Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before...
I don't stand for nonsense.
Oh, boy. It better not be over yet. That was it. The last juror's decision.
According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, the court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict that's in sentence. And that's what it says here.
The final verdict. It's over, then.
Oh! There's a footnote, though.
A footnote?
However, the defense...
All ships members of the jury are felony agreements in each case.
Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Mrs. Sato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
You were in the middle of saying something before the footnote in your encyclopedia of British law. However, the defense... What did you say? What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, the court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation of explanation of the jurors at this point.
Get up. Get up. Summation. Examination.
Objection!
A summation. Examination. From which century has that tome you've been there resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text in British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
Oh.
What even is it, Mrs. Sato? This so-called summation examination?
Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
Can you hurry up? He's about to deliver the verdict. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese.
Right, alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what exactly?
Appeal to them to change their meaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of this trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality, with no practical benefit to it. So it fell rather out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose.
Huh?
Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct.
Oh, we're gonna do it, aren't we?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Take a deep breath. Here we go. A summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Assert our right! The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Yeah. Well, I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received to say so. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is the most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
I don't really hold all of this justifying lark. This is typing. That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then, the summation examination. Defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around. So be it. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you. State the grounds of which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime. So, judicial findings. Alright. Oh shit, I guess we're starting. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it had to have been him. I thought we're just gonna stop there, but I guess we're gonna finish it off with the summation examination first. Why not? Why not?
I trust the driver. Just next to memory, it seems. 4 passengers. The fare's totally 20 pence.
He stuck the shop next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I have simply typed and correlated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You trust the guild? Fair enough. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
On the floor? Hold up. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant's guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says.
But then...
They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then?
Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in a courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see, so it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Alright, so it's basically cross-examination 2.0. Right? Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. Give me a sandwich time. I have to pull this off. Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand, please. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it must have been him. I trust the driver, he has an excellent memory. It seems 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this, brazen, I must say, absolutely brazen. What do you mean?
Hold it!
Careful, you could hurt someone with that. You won't find to talk. Why would that sword hanging from your waist, eh? No, that's just my battered soul. Anyway, I despise anyone with too much money. They're all the same. Just stabbing some brickmaker or other behind the scenes. You mark my words.
Objection!
That seems very unlikely, doesn't it? Are you mad, man? We know the small shorty was a Rothschilder. Well, yes, that does seem to be the case, but...
Miss Naruhodo, please, be careful what you say.
He's been trying to squeeze money out of us less fortunate. And as far as I'm concerned, he's guilty of sin. The man can hang. Come to think of it, didn't one of the other jurors have something to say about the defendant's underhanded activities?
If you've thought of something, Miss Naruhodo, don't let it go. Test your theory.
Did the 2 jurors whose statements seem to be contradictory against each other? No time like the present to use R to pit them, or I'll never get anywhere. Alright. Simply typed, draw up the logical conclusion. Don't really care what she says, trust the guild, fares a model. You haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years. Four passengers with fares. 4 times 4, 4, 8, 12, 12, 16. Alright, I'll come back to that one later. Ah, crap.
So, we just need to find 2 jurors with contradictory statements and pit them against each other. Which is so much easier said than done. Is that perhaps what you were just thinking?
How did you know?
Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in such a situation. Shall I read you what I found out? It's a little long, I'm afraid.
Not right now.
If I had to rely on advice right from the start, how will I get on later? No, I need to work this out for myself. Is that perhaps what you were just thinking?
How did you know?
Well, that sort of attitude. It's most admirable, Mr. Naruhodo.
I know what I have to do. Let's listen to those assertions one more time. I have a feeling it's the guy with the knife I have a feeling it's him and the old lady. Let's pit him against her.
Objection!
Those two statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, Counsel, post haste.
Oh, dearie me. I was only needing a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they all allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see that I'm busy here? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Aha! You want to test me, do you? It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the Prim Branca said. Yes, that's what Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true. Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. They stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now, don't move. Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. There. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
Bless my stitches. What a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh.
But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I'm trying to get his voice down. But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. Can't abide people telling lies.
Alright. Scales tipped.
The scales.
I don't believe it. Wait. Now hear this, my fellow jurors, I warn you. You can't listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on all of us.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Doc Jakes.
Huh? But me?
What exactly is your problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollection of events?
What of it?
Let's say Shylock did stab the victim when he was sat next to him on the omnibus. Then the young lady and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, Why are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you.
Why are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
They're ready to kill each other now. Could the foreman of the jury be right? The two witnesses see different moments of the same crime? No. Wait. No. Right? What's the answer? Yes? I mean, he was stabbed in the chest. But it doesn't mean that he was stabbed laying down first. But no, they were sitting next to each other, weren't they? It's possible. It's true. There's an outside chance of almost anything you care to mention.
Exactly the point I've been trying to make.
Before you go any further, Miss Naruhodo.
Oh, what is it, Miss Sasato?
I think you should have looked through. You should have a look through the court record. Oh. Ah. You see, this evidence makes it quite clear. There isn't even an outside chance of what the juror is saying. Oh. How did I miss that? That's true. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it you talk things? Come on out.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? Is that what you want to see? I say the two...
My throat. Sorry.
I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
It looks like the only way I'm getting out is to convince him to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that two witnesses saw different moments of the same crime, as proven by the crime scene photo. Right? He was sitting up. Does this say if he was sitting up? No. Alright, so it's gotta be the crime scene photo.
Take that!
This clear piece of evidence. Well, Mr. Foreman? It's not right, is it?
You know what they say about me, young man. They say I've got no powers of persuasion.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
But no one will need persuading about this. You're even worse than me.
Ah, alright, so no, it's wrong. Two different moments. In other words, the victim was stabbed 2 times. Oh, well, duh, yeah. Well, when you say it like that, yeah, let me present another chance. It's out of the question of the two, and this is proven by the autopsy report.
Take that!
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once.
Eh? Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely 1 time. Alright, yeah, we really gotta be wrapping this episode up soon, Jesus Christ. We're almost done here, I think. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen 2 different times. Alright, I can see defeat. Alright, we're tipping the balance.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it! We can manage to just change 2 more jurors' minds. You could force the trial to continue.
2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
Then that's where you must strike next.
So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show that there's another contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Alright, so we did lose a justice point. Alright, so these guys are now done. He's switched back. For now. Type and collected all statements, don't care right now. You can trust the guild fairs is our motto, haven't raised our prices with 4 pence. DME can make his accusation based on lies, and what if the poor man's innocent after all? Alright. It would be this one and the other guy, because 4 and for 20, right? That's 5. That's 5 pence. 5, 10, 15, 20. But he said he hasn't raised above 4. Let's pit him against him.
Objection!
That's just wrong math. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. They do. Explain yourself, Counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on every silver blazer's name and main and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus in the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right. I have these precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is, a fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication,
It would be 16 pence.
exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely one person's fare.
One person's fare.
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious.
Oh, here we go!
This can't be right. The coachman and the guild are good, honest men. One and all trustworthiness is our watchword.
Figures the coachman claim most certainly do not add up.
Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. Hold up 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. My throat is just really hurting from that. From this.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news would surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he let nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Oh shit, what did I do? Okay.
Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Just vote innocent.
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo.
I'm sorry, I have to let my cat out. Didn't want to ruin the cutscene, though.
This is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm gonna do the same.
Yes! We're back on the scale of innocent, baby.
For the love of Mike, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Hell yeah. Wait, that means forgers are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won.
Not yet.
What are you playing at your daddy for?
Oh, shut your trap, sir. Not one deceives me.
Well, we had a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a lighter when I see one. And if the chap ever does dare cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, it's quite a remarkable train of events. Defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough a majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue.
Yes!
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Woo!
Lord Van Zykes, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Alright. We're gonna leave it there. Alright. No more. We're done. We've been doing this for far too long. Far too long. Almost 2 hours, in fact. Alright, next time we shall continue on with the adventures of the Runaway Room in the Old Bailey here in London. We'll be facing off against Prosecutor Van Zykes again, and hopefully get McGilded innocent. Please, for the love of God, I'm tired of doing those scratchy British voices. Oh my God. Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna take a break from recording sessions tonight. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.